Okay, we are live. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Open Book. I am Billy Price. I am co-founder of Billy Footwear. And I say this quite a lot. I love Open Book. I absolutely love it because it gives us the opportunity, one, to share a little bit about our brand. But I think more importantly, it allows us to share the amazing stories of amazing organizations and amazing people driving those organizations of what they are doing. So today we are absolutely honored to have two folks on screen with us. We have Shayna, who is a member of the Chileno Bay Foundation, and we have Korey Riggs, who is the executive director at the Chileno Bay Foundation. So welcome both of you to Open Book.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Billy. We're so excited to be here.
Well, I'm really excited to dig into this conversation, and there are so many things I do want to ask, but I think a great place for us to start is if you can give some context on what is the Chileno Bay Foundation.
Well, the Chileno Bay Foundation is really born out of a golf course development in Los Cabos. And we created this foundation to allow the members of this development to actually give back to the local community in Los Cabos, Mexico. And as many of you may or may not know, Los Cabos is one of the wealthiest places in the world, lots of high-end homes, lots of high-end developments, but it's also one of the poorest places in the world. And it's an incredible diversity of people. And one of the things about the Chileno Bay Foundation that our goal is to solve big community problems. And probably the biggest community problem in Los Cabos is there's no specialty medical treatment for children at all. Anything like physical rehabilitation, cancer treatment, heart treatments, all the children have to get up to La Paz, which is about 3.5 hours on public transportation, which is really untenable. So a lot of people drop out of their physical rehabilitation, their cancer treatment, and we just don't find that acceptable. And so Shayna really didn't find it acceptable, and she's really jumped in big time and contacted you, Billy, and created a whole project about what we're working on and what we're going to talk about here, which is creating a children's medical campus. And phase one are these world-class rehabilitation, physical rehabilitation centers for kids called CREATs. It's from the Telethon Foundation, which is the biggest foundation in Mexico. And they have these rehabilitation centers that are, well, I can tell you that I've had doctors go, Shayna's gone. All these doctors say, we have nothing like this in the United States. They are outstanding. And it's not about the equipment. It's about the way the kids, the whole family is taken care of. So we'll talk more about that. But Shayna went up and saw it. She also has a story and why it really touched her. And I'm going to let her talk. But that's what we're here to work on. And we have raised $9 million of $14 million needed for this facility, which there's 26 more around Mexico, and we're going to have one here, and it's going to change the lives of all these children. So thank you for having us on today.
Oh, wow. That is absolutely incredible. Yeah, Shayna, I would love to hear your part.
Yeah, so working obviously in partnership with Korey, once I heard what the foundation was doing, I have a son, Lincoln, who's 10, and he has been in and out of medical treatment from OT, PT offices. He has worn Billy shoes himself. He has had bracing, neurology, lots of different things that just tie so much into this project that as a mom, I was like, I have to get involved. Like, I've lived in this world where a facility like this is so needed. But I also have been in the States where there's quite a bit of access. So when I started looking more into the project, and Korey explained, there's no access for these families, locally. There's nothing. And I was like, okay, we need to be a part of this because we have lived this ourselves, but in a very different way. So I created what I'm calling the Cabo Kids Project, and I am raising $2 million that will go towards the rest of the funds needed. Now, there's $5 million left to raise. We're hoping to raise more, but this is just my family's commitment to give back to this project.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. So I think this would be a good time. I can put the website up there where it's the Cabo Kids Project. So on screen right now, here's the website. You can go to learn more, ChilenoBayFoundation.org/Cabo Kids Project. So Shayna, there's there's so okay. I'm trying to figure out where to go here because there's so many different ways I want to go and trying to get out here. But I think where I want to start here is, helping some sort of a project is one thing, but to dive in like you did with the passion that you have, and even the passion, Korey, that you have, it's more than just wanting to help. I mean, there's like an emotional thing going on. I mean, there's just a drive to do something that's very, very challenging to raise this kind of money, but seeing on the other end of that, of how much value it's going to add. So Shayna, I kind of start with you. Is it even possible to put into words like the emotional drive you have for this project?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've been carrying this emotional drive for a long time. So when I say that, like, it's actually very overwhelming. We've been launched. My part of the project has been launched officially for 1 week. And the support I'm already receiving, the support from you guys at Billy Footwear, friends, family, and people, even people I don't know so far, has just been overwhelming is the word that I'll use, because it could bring tears to my eyes. I won't cry on this today, but there's just almost no words for me. So it's very joyful. It's probably one of the most, actually, it may be, besides being a mom, of course, one of the most fulfilling things that I have done up to this point in my life. I hope to continue to give back to this project for a long time.
So Korey, can you take a stab at it?
Yeah, I mean, I love Mexico. I've lived here since 2006. I lived in Mexico City and Los Cabos, and the people are just so open and want to help, and it's so welcoming. And what I love about this is we are changing their lives literally. I mean, you take these mothers that have kids with cerebral palsy or any other kind of physical problem, they're having to get up at 5 a.m, find a public bus, pay the money, take off work that day, by the way, try to find a place for the wheelchair. There's no handicap ramp, nothing here like there is in the States. And so they get there, they try to figure out what the wheelchair, they drive up to La Paz, which they're stopping along the way, 3.5 hours. They get there, they have their therapies all day, and then they come home, and it's exhausting. And one of the things Shayna had said earlier is that, Lincoln had access every day to this treatment. These parents are having maybe once every 15 days because of the toll that it takes just to get up there. And what I love about this is we have a chance to really bring cultures together, the U.S. culture, Canadian culture, Mexican culture. They really work together here in an incredible way and do something for the people. There's a lot of people that live down here from the United States and from Canada, and we can do something for the people that are making the reason why we love to live down here. And it really is a way of creating an oasis too. And it's an example of something that can be done in other areas. So it's really, I always say that it's time for us to take care of Cabo because it's always taking care of us. And it's really, as you can tell, I get very emotional. You can see the difference right away. And when you help here. And so that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. So whenever I have these conversations, it always takes me down memory lane, and it takes me back to my own rehabilitation. So I broke my neck when I was 18 years old. I fell out of a 3-story window. It was a spinal cord injury, and instantaneously became a wheelchair. Someone uses a wheelchair, and it affected like basically from a nipple line down. And my life changed like forever, like in a moment. And when I was going through rehab, obviously the first thing you're thinking about is, the physical therapist and the doctors and the exercise that you can do, focusing on just me, like me, the patient. But the part that gets missed is this injury affects more than just myself. It affects the whole family. It affects like all of my friends, all the people I engage with. So yes, there's one person with the spinal cord injury, but the entire network gets affected. And the entire network is there to help support, but they don't often have the tools or any sort of direction on what to do, or any sort of, mental, like being able to see beyond the challenge and see like a future that is bright, or even like see a future. I mean, you're just kind of stuck in like either the past or in the moment, and you just feel that there's no way to move forward. So when I hear like what you guys are talking about, being able to create that oasis, it truly is. It's way more than just the person that may have the disability.
Mm-hmm.
It's affecting the entire family unit, the network unit, and I think it just empowers the entire community. And when we work as a community, I think we're all better for it. So, Shayna, I can definitely see why you jumped in with your whole being.
Thank you.
I think what you said, Billy, about just the whole community, and I think that's one of the reasons when Shayna visited the CREAT, they're called CREATs, which stands for Center of Rehabilitation, an integral center of rehabilitation. I'm translating out of Spanish, but the key and what makes them so great is it's just what you were talking about. It's about the whole community around. I mean, the parents are getting trained just as the kids are getting trained, and Shayna saw that as well. That the whole family is being taken care of, and that's really the Mexican culture as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's wrapped around the Mexican culture, and that's why when we take doctors there and they say we don't have anything like this in the United States, it's because of that aspect. It's taking care of the whole family, and if they can't come to their rehabilitation and get their physical therapy or whatever they need, the family knows how to do things because they're being taught right along. And I think, and Shayna, you can expand on that if you'd like. Just, you saw that, you were there, and I know you're in that field. So
yeah, it was an incredible facility. I don't know if we have anything quite so nice in the United States. Now, I've not been to every state and every therapy office, but the facility itself was lovely. But you are so right, and I loved what you just said, Billy, it is the whole family, and I did get to see that. So what Korey said, that's very Mexican culture in general, yes, but B, you got to see it in the way that I was able to walk the facility with the medical director, and those are things she touched on. Was it's not just about the child and the diagnosis. It is the emotional, it is the, mental. It is one of the things that they are really trying to do is make it financially feasible for these families. One of the things she shared was a lot of times the grandparents or a family member is who is bringing the child because the parents are working to support the rest of their families. So it is a very broad spectrum, and yet another reason why this project was so important to me, because what we've all said in this episode already is that it's going to be life-changing, not just for the child, which that will be a big part of it because they'll be able to get more therapy, more care, hopefully faster diagnosis, because the wait times right now in the Mexico area when they have to travel to La Paz, and Korey, I'm going to let you answer this. There is a huge wait list, and I don't know if you remember the number, I do not, but of children from Cabo in general that can't even have therapy yet because there's nowhere to put them. Do you remember that number, Korey?
Yeah, there's like 650 children that aren't getting, and based on the population here, there's probably 8,000. Like if you just extrapolate the population that have some kind of need for some rehabilitation and they're not getting it. So this facility is absolutely going to give all those folks hope. Now, not everybody's going to be able to get, they're going to go on a wait list, but we're going to start to be able to treat people and go from there. So it's an incredible start, but it takes them almost a year just to even diagnose. And so Telethon, this foundation, they do it right away. If they accept a child, they have the diagnosis, they're already starting. They're not having to go through the system. And as Shayna mentioned, there's no place to refer them out to anyway, even if they have the diagnosis. So that's what it's all about. So no, it's very, and I think, go ahead.
Oh, so Korey, I mean, that what you're just talking about, like no place to point them. I mean, how heartbreaking would that be? All of a sudden you go in there, you get a diagnosis, like, okay, what's the next step? And you're just like, no direction. I mean, I don't have a word for that. I mean, that's just terrible.
No. That part touched me as a mom when the medical director told me that. I was like, Lincoln, my own personal story is Lincoln was diagnosed very young because, again, he had the access. And I thought, what would that be like as a parent that something is maybe wrong, and then you can't, you can't get a referral into anywhere because there's no pediatric care. And then the one place that you can get a referral, you can't get into anyways. And so you're already years behind. And one thing we know with multiple ranges of disabilities, right, is the sooner you can have access to therapy and life-changing tools, a lot of times the better the outcome. Now, that's not always the case, but that really, really hit home for me. If nothing else hit home, which it all did, that was pretty mind-boggling to me.
Mm. Well, there's going to be a lot of people listening in on our conversation here, and from all over the place. So my question is, how can they help? How can they help move your project forward? What's the best way where can we point them to participate?
So the Cabo Kids Project, we put the link up, and this is where you really want to go, because this is going to guide you. It's going to give you Shayna's story. It's going to give you what we're doing, and you can read all about it. You can even read about what this center is. You can just go around the website too. That's the Cabo Kids Project. You can click on the Chileno Bay Foundation.org home, and you can find out about the Telethon Crete is right there. And there's a lot of other information. And the one thing I do say also, Billy, is the shoes that you've already donated. And I'll let Shayna talk about it. You should see how excited the kids are. We were just out there today with some of the kids that we're going to donate the shoes to when Shayna comes down in March. And it's unbelievable what your shoes, how excited these kids are about it. And you have no idea the joy that you are giving to these kids that haven't seen anything like that. And so It's amazing what you're doing. And we are so thankful. I know I am. I know I'm speaking for you too, Shayna, when I say we are so thankful.
You can.
Because it's so cool. And your story, it's amazing. And you are welcome to Cabo anytime. I'd love to have you come down. When we open this facility, you should be there. So
that'd be amazing.
We'll host you. So don't worry about that. We'll take care of it. Shayna, anything out or?
Yes. No, that's perfect. So the website, like Korey said, that's our primary, housing of all the information. I do want to point out, for anybody who also is in need of Billy's shoes, because you might be watching this, they have been so generous in providing a link that is giving back 15% from the sale of the shoes. That is also on our Cabo Kids website. Specifically. So I just want to, like Korey, say thank you for that. And then, yes, the first round of shoes that we are going to be giving out is going to be in March, and so many more shoes to be given to come. But that has been a really fun part of this project for me, because that is actually how this project started for me. Is I was I was going to give out shoes. And then obviously I learned more, and I was like, no, we have to do more. But I didn't want to give up that special part of the shoes for me, because in Cabo, so many kids will continue to wear these shoes. I was sharing that with somebody. Again, Mexican culture or families or whatever, these shoes will continue to be passed down to so many kids. And I love that part of this project. So we really appreciate your donation and support in that, Billy. Oh,
well, I mean, it truly is our privilege and our pleasure. I mean, so many of these stories we hear that they use that find success with their Billy shoes. They use the words more than a shoe, because it ends up like, it's a shoe, but it ends up being this conduit to bigger things. Being able to, may that be taking back independence. That was certainly what I experienced, like the shoe number one, being able to do something I'd never been able to do before since being in the chair. So it's been awesome to be able to share that, and what you guys are doing, it just felt like the perfect fit. So
perfect.
I want to be respectful of your time. So is there anything else we need to cover? I mean, you guys just really framed it up, just fantastic. But I want to give you the mic one more time before we sign off our guests.
I would just say Instagram also. You can follow us on social media. I know we have that. So Chileno Bay Foundation. So check us out there as well. Follow us. And again, I just want to say thank you, Billy, so much. And thank you, Shayna, too, because Shayna's a member of the development, and she's really jumping in and taking a lead role. And it's making a huge difference because it's getting other members involved. And she's reached out to so many people with this project. People from all over the world now are getting involved. And I mean, Billy, you are now in the fold. You are now part of the team. So, and that's thanks to Shayna as well. And we can't wait to share with you. And you are going to get an invite. We'd love to have you down here. And you can see all the kids wearing your shoes because they're going to be. And but anyway, thank you so much for having. This has been an amazing interview, and just really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll just be real quick on that too. Again, thank you from myself for being a part of what I'm calling a team. I always say it takes a village to make something like this happen. And it is truly my privilege to be able to be the one, maybe bringing some people together, to have you involved, Billy. I'm continuing to talk about your shoes in the therapy offices that I go to here in Austin, and I'm going to be taking more information to a therapy office in Phoenix. That, all these people already know about your shoes, but it's fun to be able to have a personal tie to that and this story and the foundation. So thank you, Korey, and thank you, Billy. I'm just so excited about this project.
Yeah. Well, so are we. I mean, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And I love that. I mean, one of the things I shared this with you earlier, one of the major reasons that our brand has been able to continue to grow is just from the power of word of mouth. People are just sharing their personal experiences, and the power of building relationships. And when you build relationships, you build collaborations, you build trust, you build integrity, and we start working together. I mean, there's really nothing we can't accomplish. So everyone out there, this is the Chileno Bay Foundation. So check them out on social at Chileno Bay Foundation. Make sure to go visit the website, ChilenoBayFoundation.org. Make sure to check out the area where it's Cabo Kids Project. We're participating. It'd be amazing if you guys participated too, to really push this project forward, because it's doing big, big things, and it's adding a ton of value. So, Shayna, Korey, thank you very much again for your time. This was amazing.
Thank you so much.
Everyone else out there, this was another episode of Open Book. We will have another one again real soon. So until then, take care.